Well, Social Development Minister Bathabile Dlamini is back in the hot seat. She's appearing before a public inquiry to explain why she should not be held personally liable for legal costs related to her department's handling of grant payments. Well, Judge Bernard is heading that inquiry. eNCA's Erin Bates is in Midrand, where it is happening. Erin, a very good morning to you. For those who missed it, can you just recap the highlights from yesterday for us?
Sure, Eureka. So we began yesterday with this public inquiry headed up by Judge Bernard It's really looking into whether or not the Minister of Social Development, Bathabile Dlamini, should personally pay the costs for the Constitutional Court case which ended in March last year over social grants. We know that Justice Johan Furneman ruled that the contract between CPS and SASSA was unlawful, but gave them a year's grace, essentially, to keep that service rolling out until government could take social grant payments in-house. So we had a first day of proceedings. It began with Bathabile Dlamini taking a line of questions from her own Advocate Ishmael Zamania. And then in the afternoon, we had a second advocate from Black Sash asking her a series of questions, really trying to get to the bottom of how much interference, you could say, or management she took over dealing with SASSA and its social grant system. We know, of course, there was a crisis at SASSA, Eureka, and we had this advocate asking the Minister of Social Development what role she played in setting up what's called work streams, so different portfolios, you could say, of the Department of Social Services and what their capacity was to roll out these social grants.
Now, Erin, while we're hearing about the procedure and the technicalities of it, how does this all go in any way toward explaining whether the Minister is liable for the legal costs of the fight around this entire issue, the court battle around this, which is why this inquiry is actually underway?
Very good question. So I think it's a sort of secondary tactic, you could say, in order to get to what was her role. How much interference or management did she really take? How much did she steer the ship? And if she did so, if, for example, she had any influence on instructing SASSA to appoint certain individuals she'd earmarked for these work streams, was that within her mandate? Was she in her right kind of position, in her right role in doing so? And from there, we're likely to see Judge Ngwepe make an inquiry or an announcement really on her responsibility in terms of costs. Interesting, Yuveka, listening yesterday to Judge Ngwepe asking her specifically what happened between October of 2015 and April of 2016. This after Jeff Budlender for the Black Sash had asked her, was it correct that the Department of Social Development and SASSA had been given 4 options on how to take these payments in-house? And I do believe we have that bite of the Minister's response. Let's see if we can take a listen.
The process yayinamaginqai kodwa incwadi ngendlela ebhalwe ngayo ibhalwe as if yonke into yayismooth. Into eyenza ukuthi kuloku kugijinywa kwenziwe terms of reference kuyiwe kuma bid evaluation committee nokunye ingoba kwakuloku izinto ihamba ibuya so la akucaciswanga lokho.
Okay. All right, Erin, so we hear what the Minister had to say there. Where do we pick up with the line of questioning for her today?
So there, as you heard, she's answering in isiZulu. She has insisted and requested that she be allowed the services of an interpreter. Judge Ngwepe saying, of course, that's within her rights, but Riley noting it might also be a tactic to buy time if she has a good command of English, which of course the Minister does. From today, we're going to see him asking further questions along that line, trying to understand her role, what sort of instructions she gave, whether she was overstepping her mark as a political appointee in intervening in what was happening at SASSA, and that's really where we're going to see things pick up this morning.
And who else are we expecting to be questioned during this process?
The highlight, the spotlight here is really on the Minister of Social Development. So we had inquiries from the different advocates. So of course, Ishmael Semenya for her, and then also Jeff Budlander for the Black Sash. Freedom Under Law, who is also involved in the Constitutional Court case, is also here. So we may well see a line of question from their advocate later in the day. And then we have had several individuals who were involved with SASSA. For example, the former CEO who resigned in the middle of last year, reportedly under pressure, as well as Mr. Dangle, who was involved with social development before he too departed.
All right, we'll await further explanations from the Minister. Thanks very much. eNCA's Erin Bates out in Midrand for us today. Well, sparks have been flying.